I think we can get started. We're almost at the 5-minute mark. So today we're going to be talking about the web chat widget. So everything from styling it to sending events to receiving events, configuration, everything. You guys can feel free to ask any questions at any point. We're a nice group. Hopefully I'll be able to answer every question. I would hope I can answer 90% of the questions. We'll see how today goes. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to start sharing my screen, and I'll show you a bot I've created that's just basically an empty bot. So I'm going to do this. And go live. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah, I think it should be good. Right? Okay, perfect. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so this is a very simple bot. I just called it the web chat bot because its only purpose is to demonstrate web chat features. So I'm going to delete this, keep it simple as well. We can redo everything. So the only thing this bot does is it just parrots away whatever you say. So if you say like hi, it's going to say hi back. Fantastic bot, right? We're not going to be doing any bot building today, not in this way. So we're going to keep it as simple as this. Yes, David, a parrot. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to show you guys, let me just arrange my workspace. Okay, perfect. We're going to go to the admin dashboard. I'm going to try to be exhaustive today, so there are some things you guys might already know, but hopefully there are many more things that you were not aware of. So I'm going to go to the workspace here, click web chat bot like this, and then integrations, and I'm going to click web chat like this. I'm also going to, oh no, I don't need to touch webhook, just the web chat. Okay, so the first thing first, here you guys are probably all familiar. These are the ways you can name your bot. So like you can call the Patrick bot or the web chat bot. I'm not going to use my name, web chat bot. And then if you host this, you'll be able to see a bot that's called web chat bot or whatever. Then you can fill in all of these wonderful fields. And you have other features here. This is how you remove the created with Botpress. Show delete conversation. So that's the button that allows users to basically restart the conversation. Clear conversation on exit for privacy and whatnot, and show bot information. I'm not sure if everybody knows the show bot information. I just want to show it real quick. Right here, we have this feature like this. Took me a while to learn about this. But yeah, we do have this if you want. It's optional. And I'm going to go back here. Okay, so that's basically like the general configuration that you can do. I'm gleaning over it because that's not too much the focus of today. And once you have done this, you can go to pre-configured here. And we say the recommended way to use the web chat is this one right here. And that's fine. If you wanna just do this and use settings and it works for you, go right ahead. Something is wrong with my computer. Are you guys seeing this? Oh, okay, it's fine now. Was there like some white thing around my mouse? You're not seeing my mouse or cursor. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'll just explain where I am. So the embedded. Okay, but you can see if I highlight, right? My voice is getting cut. Oh, hello everyone. You guys can see if I'm highlighting like this? Yes, okay, perfect. Okay, so I'll just use this method instead. So this is normally like the recommended way. So you just go here, click this after you edited your settings. Then you go into wherever your platform is, and you just paste you just paste the code like this, and it would just appear here. But today we're going to go into a bit more advanced features. So for instance, I'd like to show how to style a bot, and I'd like to show how to send information from websites to the bot and information from the bot to the website. So all of these things, or how to toggle it or do whatever funky actions you want to do with your bot. So to do that, we're not going to use the recommended way. Or rather, I'm recommending a new way. So I'm going to click configurable here, and we're going to use more like the manual way of doing it. So whenever you want to go out of the happy path of like, if you hit any kind of issue, if you want to do anything extra with a web chat, you're going to want to go here and click this. So I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to work with JS bin here. So I'll just create a new bin like this. If you guys aren't familiar with JS bin, it's like JS Fiddle or CodePen, all of these. But I like it because I think it's a little bit cleaner. Most people, I'm not muted. Okay, I should be good. Okay, so I'm just gonna paste it here. So basically you just paste it within your body tags, just like you would with the other one. And then your bot appears here, like this. So by default, if I go back to the admin, if I change things in the settings here, it will change them here. But then if you want to change them here, so I call this, if I change the name, so this is the configuration for the bot. So if I change the name to Patrick and I open it, it's going to be Patrick right here. But then if I go back to settings and I change the bot name to Alfred and I click save at the bottom, save configuration. Once it's saved, if you go back to configurable, you'll see that the bot name is now Alfred. But since we're setting it here manually, it won't reflect. So just be wary of this. Once you start configuring the bot manually, you're probably, I can just listen to Discord music. That can be pretty good music. So if you go back to settings, yeah, just be wary. If you're starting to use the configurable version and then you make changes here, they won't be reflected. You have to manually reflect the things. So, okay, David, hopefully you can solve Baba Janga's issue. Okay, so I'm going to go back to JSBin. So there's a lot of stuff here, and this looks quite complicated. I'm just going to highlight it. But actually, you don't need half of these things. I just fully customized this bot. So really, the only thing you need, if we go to, I'm going to open the docs real quick. Botpress docs, this. I'm going to go to Cloud Studio, messaging channels. What do we have? Web chat right here. And initializing the widget. You only need these things, really. So the bot ID, host ID, messaging URL, client ID. Everything else is just to personalize it. So if we wanted to keep it really simple, bot ID. Oh, let me kill this. Host URL, we need to keep that. Messaging URL, I don't, oh, we do, okay. And client ID, okay. So you can remove, are you guys seeing this? It's very, okay, there you go. I'm having technical issues as well. Okay, so now that we have this, I'm just going to show you it's working. Hi, and should parrot something back. You say hi. Okay, so that's like really the basic version. If you want to add, yeah, a keyboard to navigate, but then that would be a very, very confusing live stream. I think mice are pretty good for that. So I'm going to go back to, actually, give me a sec. Yeah, okay, so I covered that. Let's see. The next thing I'd like to cover is I just want to show you if you're coming from a React app. So I have here a JS Fiddle. It's just a React application, very simple. Just to I'm gonna discard that. Just to show you how to add Botpress to your React project. Um, you don't really need to overthink it. Just go in the docs. Here at the bottom, we have a React app code here, and you just need to dump this inside. So I'm going to copy this code. Actually, I don't need the use effect. We already have this. Okay, I'm wondering. I have OBS running. That might be the problem. I can't see what I'm doing very well. I'm going to copy this. Go back to my JS file here and just paste it. Hopefully that worked. Paste it here. Okay, now this is not going to work by default for two reasons. First, I have to click run, but the other reason is I haven't added the client ID and the bot ID. The client ID is just the same thing as the bot ID. It's a relic of the past. In our case, we have it. Actually, let me go here. I'm going to copy this bot ID. Go back and paste it here. Hopefully that works. Okay, and I'm going to click run, and I think that will work. Yeah. So hi. And it says you say hi. Okay, perfect. So this works. Yeah, there's really no need to overthink it. Just be careful when you're using React. And sometimes a component re-renders. So you want to put it like really up top at the top of your application so that you don't re-render this component. Because if it does, you might get some funky effects. But bye Baba Jaka. Next time, hopefully, it's going to work better. So yeah, just be wary of re-renders. That's usually the issue if there's a problem with React and Botpress. Otherwise, this should work. And then you can just add the config here, likewise. And if you're coming from Vue or Angular, it's also very similar. I just use the equivalent of use effect or a boot method or something. You can just paste it in there and it should work. So I'm going to close this right here. And then next up on my list, change the config in real time. Okay, so if we have initialized our bot like this, and we want to change the configuration, there is a method called merge config, like this. So everything I'm going to show you today is in the docs. If you're looking for anything, if anything is confusing, we just spent some time this week to edit the docs to make sure that everything is in there, so that people can follow along later. And in this case, let me just show you merge config. We have it right here. So changing the widget's configuration. So I'm going to go back here to this one. And I'm just going to change the bot name again because that's easy to change. Bot name equals, what was the original name? Let's just call it secondary. All right, so I'm going to click that, and okay, that is not working, and that's probably because there is a timing issue because I'm initializing it immediately merging the config. So the way I can do this, well, there's multiple ways, right? So if you were to have a button click or something, you could simulate it with a set timeout, which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to give like, I don't know, 3 seconds delay. Like this. So assuming like further down in time, somebody clicks a button and you want to change the button name, you can do it like that. You wouldn't need the set timeout. You would just have like an on event. And you can see it appears like this. Okay. Maybe we can tackle this right now, actually. There's something that's often an issue with Botpress web chat when we see people using it and stuff doesn't happen. It's usually because it hasn't been initialized already. So I'm going to show you some events and triggers here. So right here in web chat lifecycle events, you can see all of the events of the web chat. So you have lifecycle loaded, lifecycle ready, UI open, that's when it pops up, UI closed, resize, all kinds of things, even message sent and received. So if you want to make sure that something works, you can always use a lifecycle ready or lifecycle loaded. Ready is more careful. You have to actually open the window. Open the widget. Lifecycle loaded works even before that, but it doesn't work for everything. So usually if something doesn't work, add one or the other. In this case, lifecycle loaded should be enough. So I'm going to go back to JS bin. I think I can get rid of this. Yeah. All right. Not going to use the set timeouts. And of course, we can't just like dump this. This is not code. We have an example just below, right here, which is window.botpress web chat on events. So I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to paste it here. And then I'm going to take the merge config here and I'm going to paste it here. And hopefully this should work. If it doesn't work, we're just going to use the other event. So this is available immediately. So as soon as you have Botpress web chat, you can do an on event like this. And then you can pass a few events, as many events as you want. You can pass all of them if you want, and then just handle the logic like this. Or if you just have one, you know what you can do, you can just remove this, dumb it down, and you can have multiple ones. So I'm going to open it and we'll see if it works, and it does. Okay, so we didn't need to use the ready. I think it was ready. Yeah. So this is good enough for now. This is how you can merge config. You can use a set timeout. Well, don't use a set timeout. You can use an on-click event or whatever to trigger this. You can even use information sent from the bot. I'll show you how to catch that information later. And then change the name of that if you want to. But you don't just have to change the name. You could. A common use case that we see is, let me go here. What is the name again? Composer placeholder. Right, so you could change the composer placeholder. And I've seen many people ask for this. So pick an option, for instance. Like if you had a choice, if you're giving a user a choice, you might want to have them pick an option. I don't know, tell me a joke, whatever. You could even suggest a URL, just like an input. You can do whatever you want with this. All right. So, and another important part is if you go back here, everything that's in the settings, as far as I know, can be configured. So in theory, you don't even need to use this. You can just use code. Okay, so back to here. My next point is, well, first of all, are there any questions on this? I see. Display or embed. Okay, maybe we'll tackle that later. Does anyone else have this issue on Botpress where sometimes the bot doesn't respond? I should read these out loud actually, because we're going to record this. Does anyone else have this issue on Botpress where sometimes the bot doesn't respond to your input mid-conversation even if you wait a while? When this happens, I need to input something else and the bot responds to both messages in order. It makes... Okay, so Narakeru, that's an excellent question. If you're using AI tasks, sometimes there can be a lag due to OpenAI or something else, or if there's a lot of computing power. Like without looking at your bot, I wouldn't be able to tell you what it is, other than just test it out, try to figure out which. You have seen it happen. Well, a simple bot can have a complicated function. So I'm not sure. I can't really answer that on this stream. Besides, if you tried it on a different platform, like WhatsApp, you might have the same issues, might not be tied to the web chat. But feel free to create a post in the help section and include information about your bot. Maybe we can tackle that. Yes, Jeremy, exactly. Thank you. All right, so next up, user data. So where the user is in a page. Okay, so right here in the docs, we have something for this, user data. It should, but the search is not working. Okay, no, there it is. Okay, so you see you have here user data. I don't know if I added it to this one. No, I don't. Okay, so we're going to add it here, and we're going to see how to catch that. So use cases for user data are where is a user in a page or user information. The thing to be wary about, if I remember well, is you cannot have nested objects right now. So just be careful not to do something like payload, and then I don't know, name equals Patrick. Right now, as far as I know, this doesn't work. So what you just need to do is flatten your variables. So you can do something like username is Patrick, and then if you have I don't know, user country like this is Canada. You could do something like this. As long as it's flat, it will work. Okay. There's other things that you could have, which is like page URL, just so that you have context. Where are they? Maybe you can feed that to an AI task. So I'm gonna quickly write botpress.com like this. So you can provide whatever user data you want. Just make sure it's not an object in an object. And now I'm going to show you how to catch that. So where is the studio? Here. Okay. So this is my bot here. Just parrots it. You're gonna have to click add card. What is going on with my computer? Let me refresh. I'll click add card again. Okay, so here we have something called get user data. So we're going to take this and we're going to provide the event.user ID like it's suggested. And oh, okay, I'm going to refresh. What is going on? Okay, and we're going to store the output value in, we have to create a variable actually. So user data, it's called user data. So this workflow will have access to a user data variable, which will have the event.user ID. And afterwards, we can have a second text maybe. And we can have this one display. Actually, I'll just use this notation. User data is user data like this. And I think we should be good to go. Just have to remember, you need to publish every time you make a change if you want to test it out. So if you can't publish because this is a live bot, remember you can always export the bot and then re-import it into a different bot. Like that, you can safely make changes or test things out before pushing them to production, before publishing, basically. But for the moment, I don't need to do that, so I'm going to click publish. Just going to wait a few seconds. Okay, it's been published. Perfect. So now we can go back to JSBin. Let's see, what did we do? Did we already? Oh no, okay. We put the information here. The thing about user data and wait, let me go back. And this function here, right now it only works on init. I believe it's written here. Yeah, so you absolutely have to do it when the web chat is initialized. You cannot do it in merge config. So this right here, if you were to add this, let's add a comma. This won't work. Okay, I can't overwrite it. I'm actually going to remove this because we don't need this now anymore. Hopefully that will work. Okay, good. And do I need to type something? Yeah, I need to send something. So I'm going to type hi. Oh, I just noticed something. Here we have two different versions. This is the previous version because my bot was created previously. I just need to change this to V1 to get the latest version. And there you go. See? Perfect. So it says you said hi. I'm going to say hi again. Oh, and I'd like to reset this conversation. So I'm going to go back here. This is just my reference. Here, I'm going to take this, enable conversation deletion. I'm going to add this. Hopefully it's going to work. Yeah, okay. Delete it. I always like to start fresh. Okay, so I'm going to open this, and I'm going to say hi. And right, user data is Patrick, right? Canada page URL, and then here, oops, here, you could do an AI task. Where's the AI task? Everything is disappearing. Here. So here you could have as an input, what's the name? Workflow dot user data dot, and then I don't know, country. All right, and then we could say come up with a joke based on the country, and country joke. It's a lot of lag, but that's a problem on my end. Okay, and then let's try this. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but here goes nothing. Let me refresh. So text, country joke. Okay, let's try this out. All right, so we run it, and I just forgot to do something, didn't I? I have to go back. This is not going to work. I need to publish it. And while I'm publishing, let me recheck what I did. Does it seem like it will work? Come up with a joke based on the country. User data country. And okay, all right, let's try it again. Not with this one. This one. Here, delete. Hi. Might be an error because I didn't try it. Workflow country joke. Okay. Yeah. There are no eagle eyes who caught this, unfortunately. But I just had a typo here because I'm going to turn off OBS because I can't. I'm having too many issues. OBS. Okay, so bot was published successfully. I will go back here, restart it. I probably don't need to restart the conversation, but I want to anyways. Let's see if this works. Okay. It came up with a joke, but it could make a joke with Canada for some reason. I don't know. But anyways, that's how you access the user data. So normally it would be something that makes more sense, like figuring out on the URL what the user might be trying to do. So I'm going to delete this for the moment. We don't need this anymore. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. I'm just going to remove user data like this. Okay. Next up, styling. Or was there any questions? No. Okay, perfect. Okay, so styling. I will show you the styler. This is the recommended way to style your bot right now. So if you want to do it really quickly, hopefully everybody has seen this because it's really helpful. You can go through here and just use this to style your bot. So, for instance, the header background, which is here, you can change that to whatever color you want, like this. You can play around with these until you get a bot that looks somewhat like the company you're trying to represent. You can also pass an image URL here. Uh, just use Imgur or some other hosting service if you don't have a hosting service yourself. It works fine. Yeah, that will change this little widget here. And then the widget color here is just for this color right there. So you can change it like that. Basically, we have like a lot of options for getting started. Um, but today is about pushing the limits. So I'm going to show you the advanced styler. But before I do, I just want to show you something. When you click generate link here, we host the CSS file ourselves. So then you can take that and then uh, you can either paste it here in style sheet URL, or let's see, you can create a style sheet property like this. So I'm going to put this here. Actually, I can just type it. Style sheet. And you can paste, where was the styler? Here. You can paste this right there. Like this. All right. And then it styles it according. It's not a beautiful design, but I'm not a designer. So, anyways, back to the styler. Um, Here we have the advanced styler, which is basically an easy way for you to customize this however you want. We have documentation right here, website customization for every part of the UI. So if you really want to go into the details, it's worth looking at these pages. And then what you can do is you can just directly take whatever code you want, go back to the styler, put it in here, and then see the change reflect like this. If you do this locally as well, um, what's useful here is, again, like we can generate a link that can be used across different sites, across different domains. So it will work on your website. Can we only send data at the start of the conversation for now? No, you can also send data later on. I'll be showing that after styling. Oh, that's a great question. I'd love to know how to embed or display a YouTube video from a URL. Uh, Embedding, you want to embed it directly inside the web chat. To do that, I believe you'd have to change the messaging. We have Botpress messaging. We have this GitHub repo right here. I think it's public. Yeah, it's public. So I think you can tweak with this if you're comfortable with it. Otherwise, I don't know if there's a way. Maybe Rohan can come up with one. All right. So in the meantime, back to here. Yeah, I really recommend just using this to paste your code and then generating the link, because it will be hosted. You don't need to worry about that. It just works. And then you can include it inside of your bot like this with a style sheet. Okay. So next up, we're going to talk about the events actually. So the most basic one is the send event. So back here in the docs, I'm going to show you. We want to trigger something like show. Okay, so these are the actions that we can trigger. We call this send event. It might be a bit confusing. You can think of send payload as we're trying to communicate from the front end to the chatbot, and send event is we're trying to communicate from the front end to the actual web chat widget. And we're sending it events like open it up, close it, create a new conversation, stuff like that. So specifically, there's show hide. A toggle is just a toggle between the show and the hide. We also have the bot info. We can just force that to appear. Create a conversation and load a conversation. So I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you toggle for the moment. I think it's maybe um, the more. I don't know if it's the most interesting one, but the one that you're likely to use. Um, why would you want to use that? If somebody is on your website for, I don't know, 30 seconds, or if they're on a docs page for 30 seconds, you think they're lost or something, you want to help them. This is a case where you can actually have a set timeout, uh, and it would be okay. So that's for show, toggle, and hide. Hide is just the opposite of show. Next up, we have, where are the docs? Here. We have toggle bot info. I'm not sure of the use case, but if you have one, let us know. It's not going to work like this because I used the wrong lifecycle. So earlier I said there's two of them that are really useful. So loaded and ready. So if we change it to ready, I think it's going to work. We don't have bot info, that's why it's not working. If we added it here, it would just show up. Next up is the create conversation. So if you want every, I don't know if this is great UX, but every time a person loads a page, they create a conversation. Well, there you have it. That's how you do it. This is probably terrible UX. There's probably a much better use case than that. If you want to list the conversations, though, what you can do is you can use, let me show you how to do this. We have time, I think. Yeah, let's do that. So, all right, so I'm going to keep this like this. I'm going to create another one. And I'm going to use another event, which is, let me just duplicate this and close that. Triggers, let me find this here. All right, so I think we have, okay, right there, message received. I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to put it here. So now this event right here, I'm going to toggle this. I'm just going to console.log this event because I forgot how it's shaped. And we have a console here. So I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to send a message. Oh, there's a space here. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to create a conversation. I'm going to fetch the conversation ID, and then we're going to try to load it. I'm going to type hi. In theory, I think it's not liking this. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's under value. Okay. So I can use let here. Let conversation ID equals, what is this? Events dot value. I don't know if it's going to let me do this or not. Const like this. Oh. All right. And then we are going to try to load it. Actually, there's a snippet here. Not here. Here. Gonna use this. Paste this. Load conversation, and pass the conversation ID. Okay. Okay, so I think to make sure that it's working, like if I do this, in theory, nothing should happen because we are creating a conversation, we're sending a message, and we're reloading the same exact conversation. So nothing changes, which is what's expected. So just to show you that hopefully it's going to work, but this is a demo, so I'm going to set the timeout right here. Let's just wait like a second so we can see a flash. And right here, I'm going to put it in here. All right, so when we send a message, it's actually when we receive a message, actually I'm going to send this to sent because this is triggering too many times. Message sent, right? Yeah. Sent. Okay, so when we send a message, we are going to create a new conversation, wait 1 second, and then hopefully load the original conversation if all goes well. So okay, there you go. There you saw it. That's how you create a new conversation and load a new conversation, your previous conversation. So if you wanted to, you could even have a UI with your previous conversations outside of the widget, and use this to come back to previous conversations. I don't know, maybe a ticketing system, like a user reports an issue, and you want to keep that as a record. Um, you can do that like that. So it's not really that much code. Obviously, this set timeout would be triggered by a button. Um, but yeah, it's pretty simple. Any questions about that? After the bot has been, yeah, okay. Um, why is the conversation ID event.value? Ah, why? It's just the format of the object. So the way I figured it out is I just did console.log. If you have a debugger, you can just use your debugger. But I just did it like this. I cleared my console run. I typed hi, and see here, this is the console log. So this is the event. The event has a value property, and inside you have a conversation ID. So that's how I got this. And yes, I destructured it. Yeah. So I mean, a simpler way, maybe if you guys are not too familiar with JavaScript, uh, this would be basically what it is. Um, why is the conversation ID editable in the send custom event card? Can we do more fancy with an editable ID? Custom event. I'm not sure, but I might answer that question later. So because the next thing I want to show is send payload, and then afterwards we have send event from chatbot. So yeah, I think we might be able to get to that before the end of the stream. Okay. So next up is send payload. So there's two. Send payload is really you're sending information from your front end to the chatbot. I don't mean the widget, I mean the actual chatbot. So we're just gonna clear this because we don't need this anymore. And I don't believe we need this either. Okay, and do I have, I should be good with this. I'm gonna clear this. We don't need the console. And okay, so sending a payload. I'm gonna go here and we have docs for that as well. Send payload. I'm gonna copy this and go back to our bot, our code. So here we're just gonna send a payload of text like this. I'm a message sent through text, through code. And because it's lifecycle ready, it only triggers when I open it. So I'm gonna open this and it's gonna send this. So if I get a response because it's a real message. And I'm gonna open it again. So this only ran once because it only runs once. It's not the UI opened. So it's the first time that the bot is loaded and it's open. So I'm gonna click run with JS just to restart it, just to show you that it's working again. There you go. Okay, so I'm showing you with text, but there's a whole bunch of things that you can do with it. I believe, yes, we have an example here. It's a blob. So with everything you see here, so we have images, for instance. We have cards, we have carousels, we have, this is the carousel. File, video, audio, location, dropdown, all of these things, even a single choice with yes or no values. You can use this as a reference to figure out what you can send from the user message. So if you have a button that you want to trigger a conversation with a custom start, you can do it like that. So that's basically it. I'm just going to show you one because everybody likes ducky, 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 duck, duck, I hope. Right, so we have, no, right here, sorry. Here we have this object. I'm just going to change the object and hopefully it's going to work. Click this. And there you go. There's your ducky, duck, duck. Could we pass a link? Okay, that's for Rohan. Right, perfect. So that was how to send text directly. If you want to send information, but not send it like as a user input like this, then you don't use you still use send payload, but you don't use the type image. You use like a special type, which is trigger. So I'm going to do that, and I don't believe there's a title image in typing for this. And I'm going to go back here, and we have sending custom information right here. So we have an example. I'm actually just going to copy that, go back, and paste this here. Okay, so we're sending a trigger, but we don't have the infrastructure in the back ready yet for this to work. So we're going to have to do that right now. Okay, so I'm going to go in the studio here, and I'm going to right click trigger. And then we see no trigger selected. I'm going to click this. Oh, I'm going to click web chat custom trigger advanced, like this. And I'm going to click discover events. So I'll hit OK. So we have something here already. I'm going to go back here, and we're going to change this to something else. Because this would be something on the fly. So maybe if you have like a single page application, and you want to send the screen name, the page name, so you could do page name, and then you could say, I don't know, single page application. What is that? So like an FAQ, like a support page. Okay, they would be on a support page. You could have something like this, and you want to send this information to your front end. So whenever the user to the chatbot, whenever the user redirects, you want to send the page name. So all right, this will only happen when lifecycle is ready. So this in particular, the trigger send payload, it only works if the lifecycle is ready. If you try to do it with the other one, which was loaded, it won't work. Just something to be aware of. So I'm going to open this, and it should send the payload. Because it's a trigger, you don't see anything. That's normal. That's not a problem. Now let's go back to here, and I'm going to click refresh, and hopefully we're going to see, there you go, page name equals support page. So this is how you send information from the back end to the front end. You could click this, save. So basically, the point of this discover events is to say this webhook is the one I want to catch, and it will have this kind of shape. The data that's received is going to be page name equals something. So I'm going to click close here. And I'm going to click this, like this. And then I'm not going to show you because this is for another time. We're running out of time too. But basically, with this, we'll be able to catch the data later on afterwards. We also mentioned window.botpress.webchat.send payload. Here we give the example. That's basically what I did right here. Okay, so that's how you send information from the front end to Botpress, to your chatbot, without sending any messages. Okay, and we're good on time. We have our final thing, which is the reverse. So what happens when you want to send send information from the chatbot towards the front end application, but without sending anything in here. So to do that, without sending any message, I should say. So to do that, we're going to go back to our bot. We delete this because it's not pertinent anymore. I'm actually going to delete this as well, right here. And where was I? I'm going to click add card and send custom. What is it? The full name, custom event, I think. And here I'm going to write event.conversation ID. You could send it to a different conversation. I'm not sure what the use case is exactly, but you could do that if you wanted to. Maybe you want to send a message to a lot of people. Okay, and then the JSON payload here, what will be a good example? Let's see, sending from the chatbot to the front end. You could say about to churn, about to timeout. I don't know. About to timeout. Set it to true like this. All right. Let's try this. I think this should work. Now we have to have a way to catch it. And the way to catch it, we go back here. Lifecycle ready is not the right one. We need to give it, I believe it's just a trigger. Let's see. No, it's not here. From your website. Listening to web chats. Okay, so I think we should just do this like this. Message received. I thought it was trigger. Let's try. Actually, let's just try trigger. See what happens. Trigger. Not here. This one. Okay, so we're going to send a hi. Oh, this is obviously not going to work because I did not publish my bot. So I'm going to go back here. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's triggered. So we have the information right here. But I have to hit publish, otherwise it won't work. So yeah, when you can't find something in the docs, it's very possible that it's directly in the product. It was too close to me. Okay, so it's published. Right, I'm going to go back to this JS bin here. And I'm just going to console.log the event, open the console, run it. And then our trigger here is a message, right? So I'll type hi. We should just get one response back. Okay, and there you go. So once you have this information, you can do whatever you want with it, actually. You could even send a message, I don't know. But that's how you send information to and from the user. And that's about it, I think, for today. Does anybody have any questions? Do I have the link to the ducky duck duck repo? Yes, it's in the docs. So let me go back here. If you search send payload, okay, you can see all the examples of all the message types you can send to the chatbot here. And you just search for send payload within the docs like this. So it's right here. And you'll have all of the information right there. But yeah, everything I showed you today, I think it's in the docs. It should be, except for that little omission right here, which is window.botpress web chat on event. You just need to write trigger. I think I might not have added this to the docs. And where's the web chat special payloads info? What do you mean, Guillermo? Which direction? Let me open it up. I can just paste it here, actually. So right here, it's this right here. And by the way, if you guys want to change the messaging server, fork it, like go right ahead. You'll have to change a couple of parameters, but I think the messaging URL right here, you'll have to change it for your own. But that's about it. All right. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.